Guess who's on this week?
It's Izzy.
It's Bert Kreischer.
It's Bert Kreischer.
It's Bert Kreischer.
Stand-up comedian, author, actor.
And a dog that's sniffing the mic.
Yeah. It's a great episode. This is very conversational.
Yeah.
This is very much what podcasting was like when I started.
Yeah.
Yeah, just very open and honest and conversational, speaking about your flaws openly and honestly.
Yeah.
Not worrying if people are going to judge you, because I talk about a lot of my flaws on this podcast, and Leanne points out a lot of them.
But why would people judge you for that? People don't, my fans, I don't get that kind of hate stuff on my, thank God. Knock on wood.
Yeah.
I don't get those kind of comments.
Are Izzy's nipples big because she's in heat?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. Hormones.
Can you imagine just being turned on for an entire month?
She's not, that doesn't mean she's turned on.
Oh, for real?
No.
All right, let's pivot.
Oh, but.
This is a great podcast.
All right.
I hope you guys enjoy it. I haven't been around behind the mic in a while, so it's fun.
I'm sorry. You did Two Bears, One Cave this morning.
Okay, you're right.
So you haven't been
I'm wrong.
You haven't been on your mic.
I love you.
Do you think that fixes everything?
It does. It's the amount I love you. It should fix everything.
Okay, so the truth is, I know I get a lot of complaints, Bert, when you crash my podcasts.
Are you being serious?
Yes. Tell him if I want to listen to him, I would listen to one of his other 15 podcasts. I don't want to hear him talk on your podcast. But Bert really asked me if he could be a guest. He really wanted to be a guest. And I was grateful because I didn't have anybody booked for this week. So I appreciate it. I think it's a good conversation.
It's good to see Halston again.
I know, right? It's good to be back in here.
Socially distant. By the way, I'm HIV positive. I'm COVID negative. So Halston's wearing a mask. We're socially distanced, but I am negative, which means Leanne is negative, which means we're not putting Halston in risk at all.
No, yeah. Totally.
I just got my COVID test results back today.
And no, that's really great. And then off on tour. And I'll be on my own in a clean house.
With 2 big dogs. Well, a new big dog.
1.5 big dogs.
1.5 big dogs and a gun.
And a couple guns, yeah. Anyway, thanks for doing my podcast today. I appreciate it.
I love your podcast. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you. I like it too. I really enjoy it. I feel like COVID has got me out of my groove, and I don't like that. I like being in person with people, and I'm struggling to get people booked, and I feel bad to ask, and it kind of stinks. So I spent a lot of family and a lot of me talking to Halston. So sorry, everybody. The good news is, if you're just starting to listen to my podcast, there's like 140 of them. So you can go back and listen to some in the beginning, which are really good. So you could do that too.
Nice.
I
love you.
All right.
Hey guys, enjoy the podcast. This week's episode, Bert Kreischer.
Yes, Bert Kreischer. I guess you and Halston maybe make a list of what he thinks you need, and then you can go through it and go yes, no. Because the mic jacks are in the walls, and that makes it easy. So I don't know if you need how you're going to make them stand up next to somebody. You know, like, are you going to clamp them to a side table like this? Or
Probably. I don't know. You want to start your podcast?
I am. It's already started.
Oh, we've already started? Yeah. You got to tell someone I almost said some horrible stuff.
No, you did not.
That would have got me canceled.
No, you did not.
No.
You were not. Yes, we started my podcast.
It's nice to do one in person.
It is. I really miss doing it in person. I think that's why I'm having a hard time booking them, is because I like it in person. And I feel a little bit lost at the moment of what to talk about.
What do you mean?
On my podcast. I don't know.
Right, well, I'll tell you right now. I think that that is a insightful feeling, because I feel lost about what to talk about on stage. Really? I think a lot of people are feeling lost right now. I know that the toxicity online is
so bad
right now, in a way that all I can say is I saw a very famous person. I saw someone write a nasty tweet about me, and I saw a very famous person like that tweet.
Really?
And that famous person doesn't follow that person. They were just out looking for bad stuff about me.
Oh, that's too bad.
It really bums me out, because he was a guy I looked up to, and I thought he was a fucking awesome dude.
Oh, you have to tell me later who it is.
I'll tell you exactly who it is. I'll show you the tweet too.
Really?
And I was really blown away that that's what's out there right now, is that. And by the way, I actually don't fault the guy. I don't. If that sounds crazy,
But why?
Because there's a sadness happening in our country where people just feel disconnected, and so sometimes a way to connect, a way to succeed, is to feel like you're watching others fail. And I think it's really tough to succeed in this country right now. There's a lot of people having a hard time in this country.
Yeah. I don't know. I think it is a disconnect. I think it has to do, again, I've said this a million times, with a lack of community in the way we used to have community, really kind of maybe even in the 70s. This may be really naive of me to think this, but I kind of feel like when I was a kid, everything was a little bit more cohesive in some ways, whereas now it's not as cohesive. People were still going to church, and even though I don't go to church myself, I think it creates a sense of community. People stayed in their school districts, school systems more, instead of going to private schools and scattering to the wind. And so you invested in your high school or your high school athletics because you lived in the neighborhood. And
yeah.
I feel like some kids are homeschooled, some kids are private schools, some kids are hybrid schools. They're shipped here and there, and it's just missing a lack of community, which I think makes you feel really disconnected. And I think people jump to the easy emotion. It's really easy to get angry.
It feels good to get angry.
It does. It feels very powerful, but it's not really, most of the time, it's not really what's happening. So you have to look under the anger to see what's happening. Do you feel despair? Do you feel depression? Is it disappointment? Is it shame, guilt? What is below that? And I don't think having a president who says, I'm going to shut down TikTok because you made fun of me, is not someone setting an example of how to look a little deeper into who they are and to say, I'm not just going to go for the cheap answer or the anger. I'm going to see what's really wrong so I can maybe figure it out.
Not a lot of people do that, Leanne.
No, they don't.
I got cut off in traffic. I think I told you this.
Yeah.
I got cut off in traffic yesterday morning.
Uh-huh.
And it was the guy's fault. It was 100% the guy's fault. And he started screaming at me. It was 100% his fault.
Yeah.
He knows he did not see me, that he just took off. He started screaming at me. And I've been a lot better with road rage.
Well, the thing is, he didn't want to take responsibility.
Well, I
blamed.
I thought I'm going to pull up next to him and explain because I actually waved my finger and I said, no, that was you. I waved my finger. By the way, I'm having a really hard time figuring out hand signals to let people know I'm on their side. Like when I like someone, I used to do the okay sign, but that's racist now.
Why is that racist?
But by the way, it's better that you don't know that.
Why is okay racist?
You know what I'm talking about, Halston? Yeah, it's racist.
Why?
It's just is, baby.
But why?
It just is. It's a white supremacist signal. So
666 is of the devil.
Baby,
I'm so confused.
This is like me trying to explain. Hey, would you be comfortable? Tom and I were, never mind. It's like me trying to explain this to you is like pointless because I don't see it. And by the way, I do okay a lot, especially in traffic. And I did it with a cop. I took a picture with a cop. And I was like, hey, I did an okay symbol. And Andrew was like, hey man, and I was like, fuck, I forgot. But it is crazy.
Can you do thumbs up?
So I've been doing thumbs up, but thumbs up are really hard to signal to somebody. They are actually really hard. So there's this, I was going to say beautiful, but I don't know if she was wearing a mask, but there was a woman.
A masked beauty.
It's important that I tell you her race because everything's so racially tense right now. Me acknowledging, honking to her, she got very angry at me thinking I was saying something else. And what she was doing is she was walking down our new street. I was driving to the new house. Mm-hmm. She was walking and she was dancing and it looked to me like she was praising the Lord. She had her hands up to the sky saying it's a beautiful day.
Yeah.
And I loved it. It made me happy to see someone living so in the moment that I gave her a little honk and she thought I was saying, hey, get out of the fucking driveway.
Yeah, yeah.
And she fucking flicked me off. And there was no equal positive hand sign to give her that was equivalent of the bird to go like anti-bird. Like, no. And I had a mask on too, right?
Right.
So I have my little fucking, and I have the mask on, sunglasses, and my hat. There's so little communication going on. I can't see her face. She can't see mine.
Right.
That I just gave her the thumbs up, but she thought I was giving the bird again. She going like, huh? And I was like, no, thumbs up. And now it's already too late. She doesn't know that I was going thumbs up to the honk was to the fucking awesomeness that I was just witnessing, and fucking everyone's so disconnected. Now I'm watching this and I'm like, fuck yes, this is what life's about. But now you think I hate you because I'm white and you're black, and you think that I'm like, get out of my neighborhood, you motherfucker. And it was so fucking bummed me out so much that I didn't have a good handshake. I can't do okay. If I do okay, then I'm like, I am a racist. You need to get out of my driveway.
What about raise the roof? No?
I don't know if that would have translated, but I was at a loss, and I just gave her a thumbs up.
Well, maybe we should bring the funky chicken. That's that means good stuff. We could start a big rage if everybody does the funky chicken, right?
I should have just been like sipping tea.
Sipping tea.
That's another thing that you don't know.
Racist?
About. No, sipping tea is if there's a fight that's correct me if I'm wrong. If there's a fight that's about to happen on the internet, yeah, you can just sit back and sip tea
and watch it happen.
And just watch it. So I ended up rolling my window down, taking my mask off, rolling my window down on your side of it, like passenger
I
side.
understand.
And I said I was not saying get out of my driveway. And then she lowered her mask, and now we're still probably 20 feet away. And I said I was trying to honk, saying you made me happy with you raising your hands to the sky. And she went, oh, thank you. And we walked on.
Right.
Just everything about this world's bumming me the fuck out.
Yeah.
That there's such a disconnect. And I don't, here's the thing that I want to make clear is like, if you have been feeling disenfranchised or put upon or not 100% for 40 fucking years, like this black woman, and she gets an opportunity in the conversation that's going on in our country to voice her opinion, where I honk and she's like, fuck you.
Yeah.
I've been honked at my whole fucking life. Fuck you. If you want to say that, I want that voice to be heard. I've always said I want people to be as happy as I am on a daily basis, and I am really fucking happy.
Yeah. Well, me too. That's all I want is for people to. I don't want anybody to feel less than or like they can't have, no matter what race they are. I don't want them to feel
or
that
sexuality
way.
or
anything.
Like it's like I get when. I don't know.
It hurts your heart, I think. I think it ends up hurting your heart to seek out that negativity online.
Oh, I think it makes people feel very good. I don't think they know. Oh no,
but it hurts their heart.
I don't think
the end result is it just takes a little piece until it's just shut down entirely, and then it takes so much more effort to find it again than if you just stopped it and go, you know what? I'm just going to focus on the positivity, because there's negativity comes whether you like it or not. You know, someone's parents die, someone's child dies. Fucking that's negativity. That's horrific.
That's, by the way, that's unimaginable negativity.
It is. You lose your dog that you love for 9 years.
Losing a dog is doable. I can lose a dog.
Well, no, but my point is there's enough negativity in natural life that why would you seek it out and look to throw gasoline on that flame? It's just so sad.
Sometimes you find solace in negativity. I'm not defending this person that wrote something shitty about me, but I'm saying that I'm trying to I always, this is a blessing. I'm so in love with my occupation.
Yeah.
Being a comedian is such an amazing, amazing blessing because you're provided with a shift in perspective at the day you start to do stand-up. The day you start to do stand-up, your perspective shifts forever. You will always, I mean, Bill Burr is a perfect example. You cannot say anything to that man without him taking the opposite and trying to argue his way into
He's a contrarian.
But as a comedian, you have to be a contrarian. If you're not a contrarian, then you're not doing your job right. You're just going like, well, that works for me.
Right.
You know, and I think that's sad. You know, the comics that just go, I'm just trying to fill my narrative. I know my thing. I always want to take like, I want to take like, let's take fat shaming, right?
Okay.
Initially, when I started getting fat shamed by Tom, but when we started doing back and forth with each other, and by the way, it was always meant as a good-hearted joke, but you start hearing it from the internet, and you're like, and sometimes you're just like, okay, that's a little bit much, and then you start getting feelings, and I thought, I am someone who was never a super big body positivity guy.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I just wasn't, meaning high school, college. I wasn't the guy that saw the way the media fucked with women's heads. I just was like, yeah, hot chicks belong on the front of the magazines. Look skinny. Like, do you remember, perfect example?
I do not know what you mean.
Do you remember when I told you, when I feel bad outing myself for saying horrible things, but I feel like, do you remember the one time when we were dating and I said, hey, just so you know, if you ever get fat, I'm just going to cheat on you.
Oh, I probably ignored it. I don't remember that.
But I never really was empathetic towards.
You were shallow.
I'm shallow.
Superficial.
And then when it hit me, I was offered an insight that I didn't ever have.
What do you mean when it hit you, the fat shaming?
When fat shaming and my body, I never thought I was fat. I just thought my body was always beautiful. And,
You're so funny.
I always thought it was beautiful. I just thought I had a great body.
Yeah.
Like even I took my shirt off and I just thought, yeah, I look good. Like I don't look fat. I just look
Then
good.
why do you have so much negative self-talk about your body if that's how you feel?
So what happened was when the fat shaming started happening, I started seeing myself differently.
Ah.
And I started going to places body-wise. Like I mean, this is I've never really shared this much, but like I stopped going to the store as much because I just didn't want to hear people tell me I was fat. Like, cause
as a joke when they
even
were
as
joking,
a joke,
yeah.
or just go, or maybe I was fat and then they just pointed out to me because everyone felt very comfortable pointing it out to me.
Right.
By the way, women are worse than men.
Yeah.
Women loved it. Oh yeah. And so I just didn't want it. I didn't want it to be put in my face. And then I just kind of started shutting down. And I think my point is I started reading articles about body positivity from women who were plus sized, women who were in love with their body and they were proud of being a bigger plus sized girl. And I started reading about fat acceptance and like this stuff. And I was and this is because you're a comedian, I've always been allowed to be open to different ideas.
Right.
If you're a comedian that's closed off certain ideas or you won't listen to people, then your brand is fucking pretty shallow.
Yeah.
And I read some articles that were this one girl was talking about coming out as fat as if it was like being gay. And she came out as fat to her family.
But but they could see that she was fat.
No, you're missing the point. This is what's beautiful about it.
Is that she said, I'm fat and I'm staying this way?
And don't ever fucking bring it up.
Got it. Okay.
And it seemed, I was like, I wish I had the strength of this fucking woman to sit my dad down and go, hey, just, I'm fucking fat.
And I'm staying this way.
Leave me the fuck alone.
Right.
Instead, I'm just like, do you remember the time we were leaving? And I was like, it was like Christmas. And I was like, and everyone was taking long and I was starving and I hadn't eaten because I was seeing my dad for the first time in a while and I just wanted to look skinny. And I was like, can we just go so I can get to this house so my dad can see me skinny and I don't have to fucking deal with this?
Yes, I do.
And you're like, what the fuck?
Yes, I do remember that. Yeah. I think weight is really an interesting like mind fuck.
Oh.
Because the thing is, when I started working out with Mikkel, right, I was obviously 20 pounds overweight because I've lost 20 pounds and now I look good, but I didn't look bad. Like I never thought you looked bad. No one would have said, wow, Leanne's a real porker, but what I was bothering me as much as not feeling great about my body was my lack of strength. Like I had lost so much strength in my legs and I just didn't have the strength that I used to have. And I wonder if people who are really overweight have any connection to that part of it, because part of what was bothering me and the number one reason I wanted to see with Mikkel was because I had that back injury and my chiropractor said, I can only take you this far. From here on, this is a muscular issue, and you're going to have to build the muscle up around this injury, and then you'll be okay. That's the only way you're going to have full recovery. So I was like, okay, well, I clearly don't know how to do that, because every time I was working out with something like Beachbody, I was in pain. Like I'd be in pain the whole time, and then the whole day, and I kept going, well, I'm going to get some strength here, and I just never. It was not in the right place. It just wasn't. It wasn't rehab working out, sort of. So, and that's what Mikkel does. So, but part of it, the other piece of that was, part of it was I felt a little overweight. Part of it was I felt I had very little strength. And part of it was this injury, my back injury. But I can't believe how much stronger I am now. And to look back at what I couldn't do before I started working out, I wonder if people who are overweight feel like that. Like,
no, I don't think they feel like that. I think it's just like I say about a comic who can't see two sides of the fence. I think it's you get so defensive. It's it's the old adage. Barry Katz once told me there's two types of people. There's people who talk about losing weight, and there's people who lose weight.
Yeah.
Well, in order to lose weight, you have to do something that your body doesn't normally do. You have to push yourself through things that your body doesn't normally do. It's got to hurt in a way where you get a little scared sometimes, and you go, oh, wait, what if I'm going to have a heart attack? And you have to go, no, we can do this. And you have to surprise yourself with your own effort.
Yes, very true.
And I think a lot of people, myself included, and I have lost weight and I have not lost weight. I've gained weight. I've been fat as fuck. I'm right in the middle right now. But I think it's hard to get out of your comfort zone.
I think that's the bottom line. It's hard to get out of your comfort zone, because you have to say, not just about weight, but about anything in life that you want to change that you don't constantly is, well, what does that give you? There's some reward from it. Does it mean that you get to eat recklessly? Does it mean that you don't have to fix some part of yourself that is broken? Does it mean that you're not comfortable with your sexuality, so you pack the pounds on so you don't have to feel your sexuality? What does it mean for you? It means something different for everybody, not just weight, but anything. What are you gaining from staying in your comfort zone? And then I think if you can figure that out, you can kind of shift your intention and say, well, I don't really, or I can still have that and be thin, or I can still have that and write that book I keep saying I'm going to write, or whatever it is.
It's hard to, I don't know. I would be the wrong person to have that answer. I've been working so hard on my fitness all through quarantine. Didn't drink for like 45 days.
Long time, yeah.
And then and still have had more bouts with sobriety than not on this journey through whatchamacallit.
COVID.
Through COVID. I did my math. I've run this year 798 miles.
Wow. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's a dick load. And so, but I'm still fat as fuck.
Well, we know what your issue is.
Can I tell you what I think it is?
What?
The fact that whatever just happened to me, that I was doing really good all day with food. I do a meeting. I get out of the meeting. I walk in. I have Indian food, pasta, Ben and Jerry's, and a fucking candy bar.
When did you have the Ben and Jerry's and the candy bar? You snuck those in.
I snuck those in past you. Isla and I had some Ben and Jerry's.
Oh my God.
And then I had some dark chocolate. And I'm just like, what the fuck, man? Like, you're doing so good. And then it's like, I fall apart.
Yeah.
Like, legit fall apart. And then I start I start hating myself. Like right now, I hate myself because I go, I can actually feel it. I feel it. I feel like I'm like.
What do you think that is? Is it a lack of self-control? Is it?
Baby, my brain, it's like my eyes go in the back of my head like a shark. And I start biting onto cabinets. I'm like, I can't
So then are you too hungry? Did you not eat enough before? But you do that also in the middle of the night,
Baby, I do that I've been dizzy all day because I had 2 coffees and a fucking Red Bull.
Oh, so you didn't eat anything?
I didn't eat anything. I had 2 coffees and a Red Bull.
Problem.
And I've been dizzy and I've been laying down trying to stop the room from spinning because I fucking jacked up on caffeine because I just don't know I don't know. I can't say no.
Oh, but did you
I'm going to try to work on a bit about if your body parts could me to you. my mouth would be like, I don't trust this guy at all. He put shit in me. And then I want to do this bit where I hold it and I go, ow, I just bit him. I need a word in,
Yeah.
I don't, okay, I love myself.
Yes.
The same thing, I was just talking to Tom about this today. The same thing about food is the thing, part of me that comes out to the man cave last night, starts watching these young pro surfers doing their workouts, and I start banging out squats, biceps, shoulders, and lats. And then I'm like, and then I do it until I feel fucking physically ill, right?
Yes. Yeah.
I feel shaky and physically ill. And then I open a bottle of wine to calm down because I'm like, I'm fucking jacked up.
You're just a disaster.
You know what it is? It's like, you know what it is? I feel like my life is, do you remember that game where you had two rods and you tried to roll a ball up the two rods? I feel like my whole life is just keeping that ball. Because it's like, I mean, how many times has it been like a Sunday morning and I'm like, fuck it, it's noon, I'm taking a Xanax, I've had way too much coffee. And I'm like, I feel like fucking Shirley Temple. Now, Shirley Temple's a bad example. Hey, did you edit that video? Oh, God. I watched this Shirley Temple video. It was so racist, baby.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, my God. Let me just pitch the movie to you, okay?
Okay.
First off, it's Shirley Temple's 7th birthday, and she surrounds herself with her slaves.
What?
It is so... Did you watch the movie at all?
The Littlest Rebel.
The Littlest Rebel. It is so... And she...
Oh, my God.
And the highlight of the movie, in my opinion, and I say, this is why I don't think you should take down movies like this. You should put them up and keep them up as a fucking...
Reminder.
As a reminder. There's no one that's enjoying this movie. Everyone's looking at this movie appalled because at one point they hide her in the closet because the Union soldiers are coming down to find her dad and rape and pillage, not rape actually, but pillage her house for food and money and whatever. So they hide her in the closet. The mom hide her in the closet, but her dress it's a sneak closet, right? So her dress, am I explaining this right? Did you watch it? Oh, you got to watch it. It's their dress is sticking out. And so the guy sees the dress. The Union soldier goes, hey, that's a sneak closet. That's a sneak door. They open the door. And in order to not get caught, she has her slave dress her in blackface with an Aunt Jemima wig.
Oh my God.
And it is, I mean, and by the way, we're not even halfway through the movie.
Wow.
It's a rough movie to watch. It's a really...
What are you doing? Get off your phone.
I was going to try to show you a picture of Shirley Temple, but instead I'm looking for fucking pictures of blackface and Shirley Temple, and I got a picture of fucking Donnell.
Of Donnell.
Donnell just texted me, but I don't know why how we got off on this.
I don't know either.
But my point is, I'm not Shirley Temple. That was a bad example.
We were talking about eating.
I would love to. My problem is
but here's my problem. This is what I think your problem is. You don't really want to fix it. Because if you did, you would. Because you know how. Because every October, you drop weight like crazy.
Yeah, but I only know extremes. I only know extremes.
But there is nothing that you want to do that you don't do. So you don't want to. You really don't want to. You don't, because you know what it would take for you to lose weight and keep it off. And it really is kind of the extreme that you do in October, which is lean protein, green vegetables. Lean protein, green vegetables for a period of time.
So many beginning of days that are good, and then so many days where they just end
where
bad.
You go, fuck it, burn the house down.
Fuck it.
4 pieces of pizza with ranch. Let's go.
Oh.
I mean, you do that a lot. And I go, the worst, one of the things that you do that makes me bananas is I will be cooking dinner. And you'll come in and heat up a piece of pizza. It's like a slap in the face. I'm like, I'm cooking you fucking dinner from scratch and it's healthy. And you walk in the door and microwave a piece of pizza, eat it, and then you'll microwave another piece of pizza and eat it. And then you'll go, no, I'm not eating dinner tonight. And I'll say, but you just ate, I think to myself, but you just ate 2 pieces of pizza.
I don't even know that I ate them sometimes.
Yeah. And your wife, lovely wife, is making you a healthy dinner.
You know what? What's even more frustrating to me?
What?
Hot sauce. Hot sauce. Hot sauce defines every part of my personality. You ready?
Okay.
Today, I'm going to have a breakfast taco
Yes.
from Home State.
Okay.
I come home. I'm in the car. I'm thinking about it. Like I'm thinking about a breakfast taco. I'm like, I'm gonna have one of those breakfast tacos. I'll have one breakfast taco. That'll be healthy. Eggs, a little bacon, cheese, tortilla.
They're tiny.
They're tiny. So I get here and I heat it up and then I go, I need hot sauce. I said, well, hold on, Bert. We know that El Yucateca hot sauce gives us violent diarrhea. And I go, yeah, but that's what I like is that hot sauce.
Is that violent diarrhea?
And I go, no, I hate the violent diarrhea. It gives me anxiety and it's already starting because I just loaded up with this El Yucateca. I load it up and I go, I know I'm going to hate myself later, but
then why do you do it?
I have no idea. I have no fucking idea. I have no idea. Why don't I? By the way,
I tell you what, I'll throw all that shit out. And then
No.
I'll just throw it
El
out.
Yucateca is my favorite.
Yeah, okay, we'll throw it out, and then you won't have that temptation.
But then I won't enjoy food.
Yeah, you will. You'll figure it out.
I'll just start cutting up jalapenos.
It's the same.
I can't help it with hot sauce.
You can help it. I can't help it is a lie. That statement, those 4 words are a lie when applied to anything. I can't help it. Why'd you buy the Oreos? I can't help it.
God, I fucking...
Why'd you come home with 8 packages of Reese's peanut butter cups? I can't help it. Yes, you can.
There's a part of me that goes...
I can't help it. That's what a child says when their parents catch them with their hand in the cookie jar. I can't help it.
I can't.
You can. That's bullshit. You don't want to. You're a grown ass man. You can get more shit done than most people, but this is something you just don't want to fix.
It's impulse.
It's something you don't want to fix.
No.
Yeah, it is. Because if you did, you would.
So, like right here, I have a iced coffee that you just made me.
Yeah. I have a hot coffee too.
I know that this is going to make me shake controllably later tonight.
Then why did you drink it?
Because I want to be in the moment, jazzed up, pumping, firing hot.
You don't need that to be jazzed up in the moment. You always are. Once you get the microphone on, you have plenty of energy. So you just need to trust that.
I need to trust that. I'm going to have violent diarrhea tonight.
So I wonder if trust is part of the problem. Maybe you don't trust yourself.
I've never trusted anyone but you. You're the only person I've ever trusted.
No way.
100%.
That's not true.
Name one person I've trusted.
Your dad? You trust your dad?
I trust my dad, but I don't, like, I've never been... My dad's a lot like...
You cautiously trust him.
I cautiously trust him.
Okay.
Like, you can't just say something to dad because he's a lot like Burr in a way. Like, he's a contrarian.
He's a lot like Bert?
No, Burr.
You mean Bert?
No.
Where you say red and he says black because you said red?
I don't do that.
You do it sometimes.
No, I don't.
Yes,
Not
you
at
do.
all. I
Yes,
barely do it.
Yes, you do. You do.
Not
You
even
do. You
close.
do. Yes, you do.
Am I doing it right now?
You do it all the time.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do.
I really don't.
Yes, you do. I promise.
Nate, give me an example.
You do so many things that your dad does.
Bullshit.
I swear to God.
Name one.
You do that a lot where I'll say something. You do things that make me know that I'm not doing whatever I'm doing right. That I'm not doing it correctly. Particularly with cooking. If I'm cooking something, you can't tolerate the way I'm cooking.
Yeah.
So you'll just take it over. Then I feel like, well, I can't do anything right in the kitchen. So I don't want to try. Because what's the point in trying? Because he's just going to take it over anyway. Mm-hmm. Would you say that's something your dad would do?
No, he would not.
No?
He just would not. I don't think he'd do that, but I think that...
Then he just wouldn't eat what
he
you
would
cooked.
just be like, oh, this is horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely do that. Like when it comes to ground beef in taco sauce or in lasagna, you don't break up the meat enough.
Oh, that's only one item.
I'm just saying.
I don't also chop onions correctly.
You don't chop onions.
Yeah,
you chop them.
See. Does it fucking matter? Does it fucking matter? It goes in your mouth. It comes out your ass. It doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't matter.
Matters.
No. That's one example. Let me see if I can think of anything else. This is a spur of the moment, so I wasn't prepared to come up with anything.
You don't need it. All I remember is being at Noelle and Jeff were house sitting at that really nice house in Palos Verdes.
Yep.
And a woman started cutting up an avocado incorrectly, and I said, "You're doing that wrong." She went, "Excuse me?" And I said, "You're doing that wrong." She goes, "Who are you?" And I said, I'm sorry. I thought you were my wife. She goes, "You talk to your wife like that?" I was like, "Yeah, when she's doing something wrong, I do." And she was like, "Are you being serious?" I said, "Why wouldn't you want to know how to do it right? Like, why wouldn't you want to know the right way to cut an avocado?" You know, Jesus said is when you cut an avocado seed, you got to go left to right. You can't go right to left. It's bad luck. So like there's certain ways to do things that are right and then certain ways to do things that are wrong. If you're cutting up an avocado and you're trying to peel the outer layer, right? Like if you say
why would you do that?
That's what I said to this fucking dumb idiot woman. Is I said, "Well, you're doing that wrong. Why wouldn't I tell you you're doing something wrong?" She goes, what does it matter? And I said, "Yeah, there's a right way to do things and a wrong way to do things. If you're nailing in a nail with a hammer and you're holding it with your toes, I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?" That's how I do it. I go, "Yeah, well, you're doing it wrong, right?"
Well, I guess sometimes.
Don't you tell people they're doing it wrong when they're doing it wrong?
No, I don't just randomly tell people, "Hey, you're doing that wrong." No, I find that to be a bit arrogant.
Okay, so so you walk into the grocery store and a guy has a grocery cart and he's pushing it sideways. You wouldn't, and he'd be like, "I just can't figure it out." You wouldn't be like, "Hey, you're pushing it wrong." A perfect example. We went to. How many times have I told you?
That was a terrible.
I know that's a bad example, but this one's perfect. Say you go to a hotel, and someone gets that Bellman cart, and they're pushing it with the wiggly wheels in front. Wouldn't you tell them you're doing that wrong? No, because you believe wiggly wheels are going front. When I know wiggly wheels going back, that's how you do that properly.
I think this is subjective.
It's not subjective.
It is subjective.
It's not subjective.
It is
if you're doing something wrong, if someone's doing something wrong, and you're witnessing them do it wrong, you correct them.
No. 9 times out of 10, if someone's doing something wrong, I always think they'll figure it out.
I don't. I say they need me to save them.
Because I don't need to make them feel less than and tell them you're wrong.
Not less than. It's just going, "Hey, this is oh, you ready to hear a bad one?
Okay.
If I called Stacy right now, she would say all the fucking time, if I eat with people that are younger than me and they're not holding their fork and knife properly, I correct them.
Yes. I
say, "Hey, you're doing that wrong."
Yep.
I do that all the time.
Yep.
I've done that to our daughters. I'll do that to anyone that's eating with me. If you're not holding your silverware properly, I want to stop this. I don't want to just sit there and go.
Yeah, but with your daughter, it makes sense. But
I've done this. So
yeah, I know. I've seen it. I've seen you do it.
Yeah, because that's what you do. You're being kind to that person.
But no, how is that your business? It's none of your business.
It's 100% my business. It's so that you don't look like an animal in front of other people for the rest of your life. I'm going to show you. I go, "Hey, just so you know, you're doing that wrong." And they're like, by the way, I know I sound like a fucking asshole right now, but I believe there's a kindness in telling someone, "Hey, what you're doing is wrong, and I can help you fix that so that your life is easier."
But do you think the delivery of that
I don't
is
go
important?
like, "Listen, you dumb fucking cunt, you're doing it wrong."
You do go, "Hey, you're doing that wrong," as opposed to,
"I won't."
That's interesting.
That's an interesting take on how to use a fork and knife.
Yeah, right. No, I would say like that's
crazy.
a smart ass way of saying that's freaking smart.
So you hold it like you're stabbing a person and cut like this. It's a really interesting take.
That's not how you do it either. That's also shitty.
I have said aggressive things to people.
Yes,
especially with forks and knives. I've definitely said things that I meant lightheartedly that were not taken lightheartedly, like, "Did you grow up without a father?" Because I've never seen someone hold a fork and knife like that.
Why would the father be the person that taught him?
I was a dude, and I just thought a man always pulls another man aside. When you're younger, it's the job. I've always felt. By the way, now I know I'm fucking mansplaining, and I look like an asshole. But like, I was pulled aside by my uncle Jerry, who told me, "You're not using your fork and knife right. Let me show you how to do that. Can I show you how a table works?" And I said, "Please." And he said, "You start from the outside, work your way in."
But why didn't your parents do that?
Because we didn't really eat dinner together like that.
Oh, you never had Thanksgiving dinner with your parents?
No, we did. But my dad would eat so quick, he'd be done and just gone out of the table. Like, I really don't remember eating dinner with my family. I remember one time Mom made pork chops. I remember her making pork chops.
Wait. I remember one time Mom made pork chops.
Yeah.
Wait. What would you have for dinner?
McDonald's a lot.
You ate McDonald's a lot for dinner?
A lot. Like probably almost, yeah, McDonald's or pizza or.
Well, no wonder you go to pizza.
Like I didn't know how to eat spaghetti. I didn't know how to eat spaghetti.
Like with a spoon?
Yeah,
and
I
a
used
fork?
to cut it with I still cut it with a fork and knife.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Well, that's how I was taught to eat
But I
spaghetti,
cut it with a
too.
fork and knife into little tiny bits, so it was like rice.
So you just bite it. Yeah. That's how I was taught to.
But and then you see something. Then someone teaches you how to eat spaghetti, and you go, "Wow, that's an interesting. That's so much easier." Yeah. That's how Italians have been doing it for thousands of years. Why would you think that your Irish parents who say cut it up like rice, we can get rice in our mouth? You think they were? No, I was doing it wrong, and then someone taught me how to do it right, and now I do it right.
Uh-huh.
And I think that's interesting. It's like there's certain things people that I think that I'm lucky enough to know that I want to tell other people, hey, just so you know, I know, like, I don't mean it arrogant, although it's coming off very arrogant in this conversation.
Well, it comes off very arrogant when you do it.
It definitely has.
It does, like, most of the time. I think that's the problem, is maybe you need to work on your delivery.
It comes off arrogant when I say it to my daughters.
And did you grow up without a father?
Okay.
That sounds a little arrogant. A titch. So maybe you just need to work on your delivery. Your intention sounds good, but depending on what current camp you ask, some say intention matters. Some say intention doesn't matter. Only the injury matters. So I believe your intention is good.
My intentions are always good.
So you got to find out a way for your intention to match your delivery.
Yeah, but I do believe...
You could start with, kindly, sir, can you tell me, did you grow up without a father?
my dear sir. So Wolf, your stepfather? Because the way you're using a fork right now is making me nervous. We're all at the table watching. I watched a guy cut like that. Like he had it, like he was stabbing somebody and he was cutting like this.
Yeah.
And I really felt like this is my goal in life, is to fix this kid.
Yeah.
He was a kid. He was working as a PA. And I just figured any young man who used a knife that way just probably grew up with his mom having boyfriends that didn't give a fuck about him. Like, because I felt like...
Why didn't the mom give a fuck enough to say?
I think... I don't know.
Why you blame it all on the dad?
Because I just think the dad fucking dropped the ball on this. As a dad, if you see your kid stabbing, like eating a fucking steak like Jason Voorhees, you might as well fucking stop your kid and go, hey, that's not how you do that.
Mm-hmm.
I've had people correct me on how I drink wine.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. Sebastian has literally stopped me and go, you don't do it that way. And I always go, I appreciate the sentiment, but I'm going to pound it.
Yeah, you do pound wine.
I had someone teach me how to do a bong hit in freshman year of college. I was doing it wrong the whole time.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I did it right, and I was like, okay, I think I liked doing it wrong better.
Right.
I'm way too fucking high.
Yeah.
I had a very, very famously, and this is probably the one that hurt the most, but it was the best thing that ever happened to me.
Yeah.
9th grade, I kissed Marlene Tamayo.
Mm-hmm.
And she stopped me and said, you're not doing it right.
Ah.
And I went, huh? And she goes, can I show you how to kiss? And I said, okay. And she taught me how to kiss.
What were you doing?
I don't know. We should call her.
Were you like sucking on something or something?
We should call her. I wonder if she remembers this. It was such a fucking big deal to me.
Well, yeah, you're doing it wrong.
She told me.
Were you not going like this? Mwah?
I have no idea. I got her number. Oh, I don't have her fucking number. God damn it. She told me I was kissing wrong, and I went, in my head, I was like, we all got our own style. She was like, yeah, your style's not right.
This is called flair. I'm giving you some flair, baby. Marlene.
And then she taught me how to kiss, and I was like, oh, hey, thank you. And so I've always kissed that way. But it's like with sex. People say to them, hey, that's not what I like. You're allowed to say that.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
You are allowed to say that.
It's a radio station.
Ah.
I
Anyway.
feel like an asshole now, but I'm glad I got that out, because I definitely have done that to a lot of people, and I do that to you. I definitely think if you're going to make meat for tacos, that meat should be finely chopped up. It should not be big chunks where the flavor hasn't permeated the meat.
So do you feel like it's a little bit maybe a OCD thing or a control thing or both? Because I mean, everybody knows you have OCD, but
It's not bad. Like, it's not like I am locking doors, but it's not like counting tiles and stuff.
It's definitely not about cleanliness.
It's definitely not about cleanliness.
No,
it's just about like,
it's not for sure not that. But which do you think it is? Do you think it's OCD or control? Because you also have, or maybe they go hand in hand.
I have control issues, definitely, for sure.
Yes, for sure.
I have definitely control issues. I witnessed that when I was in the RV.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I was flu. That's why I drank every time I was in the RV, because I could not. I didn't. The idea that I wanted to be slower. I wanted to be not as fast. I didn't.
Not when I was driving, right?
When anyone was driving, I just wanted to be different. I had definite control issues when in the RV.
Interesting.
I do have control issues. I have control issues. Yeah, I definitely do. Yes,
you do.
Yeah. I have a lot of fucking issues.
You may have one or two. So one of your issues is that you snore, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Dr. Drew's coming over tomorrow to give you a machine, right?
He's going to give me a couple nasal tests.
Oh, he's just testing.
Yeah, he's just testing me, checking my blood pressure and everything, and then we're going to get the machine shipped, and we'll have it shipped out to wherever I am.
So he's not giving you. He told me he's not going to give you the mask.
He's going to give me the nasals.
Thing that goes in your nose.
Yeah.
I don't know how that's going to work. I don't think you're going to be able to do it.
You think?
I don't think so.
No shit. No shit.
No, I don't think you're going to do it.
I think I'd have an easier time holding stuff in my hands while I slept.
That's a pretty funny image.
Like, hey, can you hold this glass of water while you sleep? I'd be like, oh yeah, it's a lot easier than having something strapped to my fucking face where I can't roll around. Are you fucking kidding me? Can you just do a surgery or something? Or like it's going to be so hard. By the way, I have to shit so bad now that we've been talking about shitting.
Yeah. Well, go shit and I'll talk to Halston.
No. I don't know if it's real or not.
You think it's make believe?
I think.
You know what it is? It's that we've been talking about control, and now you're feeling out of control. And to get yourself out of the situation, you have to quote shit. You do that a lot. When I go, hey babe, we gotta go, you'll be literally heading for the door and go, fuck, no, I'm about to shit my pants. See? I see. It's about control.
I gotcha.
We're waiting for you. How'd it go?
Okay.
Moved over to wine, huh?
Well, maybe. I don't know. It's hot. It's when I eat yucateca, it burns my asshole. Like right now,
why would you do that? Most people go, that's painful, and I'm not doing that again.
Yeah, I know. That's what's wrong with me, is that whatever the thing going in, I love it. It's just like fucking.
No, but you love the other one too.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you do.
I really don't. My asshole's so on fire right now. Like the actual O-ring is burning because the shit still has the Caspian in it. Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's worth the flavor. Sorry. I'd pass on the
There's
flavor.
There's a lot that it's not worth it, but I just do it anyway. I'm fucking broken. I'm broken in love. Is that a real song? I've been really
crazy.
I've been crazy.
Crazy
They're interchangeable for me.
Totally.
I definitely could. I was thinking today. One genre of music you could only Alexa broke.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah.
Not you, bitch. Not you.
For help, go to your Alexa app.
There will be no children named Alexa this year. Ever.
No.
Again.
No,
They
ever.
ruined that name.
Yeah,
I hope they do that with a Bert. Make a robot that's like Bert. And then I get to be the last Bert.
Yeah. It's probably not going to happen.
If your device in your house broke, but but they said, oh, just so you know, when it plays music, it'll only play this genre.
Yeah.
What genre would you pick?
Classic country. Duh.
Classic country. I pick soul.
Soul? Really?
I think it's soul, like Sam Cooke.
Yeah.
Like,
Sam Cooke?
I love Sam Cooke.
Do you?
Don't know much about his story.
Oh, yeah.
Don't know much about. Can I tell you why?
Why?
Bruce Willis.
Okay.
When I was a kid, Bruce Willis was the coolest fucking man alive.
Yeah, he was pretty cool.
He was so cool. He could play the harmonica. He was like sex symbol. He was like funny as shit in Moonlighting, but then he saved the world in Die Hard, right?
Yeah. And he's an everyman.
And I remember he drove a BMW. I thought if I could get myself a BMW and some Sam Cooke, then chicks would be lining up. And I remember him saying Sam Cooke. And I went to my dad. I said, hey, I want to get some Sam Cooke. And he goes, Sam Cooke's fucking awesome, buddy. And I said, really? He said, yeah. And he bought me a Sam Cooke tape. And I would mow the lawn listening to Sam Cooke. And I didn't get it, but I wanted to get it.
Yeah.
I couldn't understand why it was good, but I wanted to get it.
Yeah.
You know, there's a lot of me about music that I couldn't help what I liked, but I wanted to like the better stuff. I knew stuff was better than what I liked, but I wanted to like the better stuff.
That's interesting.
So like I was just telling this to someone the other day, maybe it was you, Halston. I used to have, I'm sure you've heard me say this. I used to have like a stereo system with a record player, FM, XM, FM, AM, and then 2 tape decks.
Yep.
On the left one, I would keep hip hop.
Yeah.
Rap music. I didn't call it hip hop then, just rap music. And on the right, I would put reggae.
Oh.
And if a girl called, I would turn off hip hop, which I listen to all the time.
Oh my God.
And I put on reggae.
All for girl?
Because I didn't want her to know what I liked, because I was like, she's not going to like me if she knows what I like. And so.
Why would you think that? And why would you think she would go, oh, reggae? Yeah.
Yeah. Or I'd put in Sam Cooke and I'd be like,
then she'd go,
the night away.
Dork.
Yeah.
Then she would go, dork.
I thought that she'd hear that and go,
so was everything you did for a girl? Like, well, a girl.
Did we just talk about this on a podcast? I wasn't living in an unexamined existence. I was overthinking the presentation of Bert at that time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I didn't like who Bert was. I thought Bert was a dork. I didn't think Bert.
But the funny thing is I think you are a dork.
Yeah, I know. I didn't fall in love with who I was until like college, and then I was like, oh, I can't help who I am.
Right.
Like in high school, I still was. I was a lie. I didn't like who I wasn't who I really was.
Yeah, I think that's true for a lot of people.
Yeah, and then when I got to college, I was like, I can't help it, man. I like fucking hip hop. No one else likes it, but I'm obsessed with it. I was obsessed.
Right. No one liked hip hop in your college?
No.
Yeah, no one liked hip hop in my college either. I started listening to rap.
No one liked hip hop
when I was like 13, 1983.
Yeah.
When I first moved back to my dad, the local college, right at the time it was West Georgia College, played rap music on Wednesday nights only for 1 hour. And so I would have to, because I lived with my dad, it was just the two of us. I did all the like household chores. So I would put that radio station on and listen to hip hop. Well, it was, I guess they called it rap, but it was like Nucleus and Curtis Blow and, all those really early rap singers. And then when it started getting into like, 2 Live Crew and that type of rap, I left. I was like, I don't like this. It's too hard for me.
2 Live Crew.
But that early stuff, and I don't know anybody else. I didn't know anybody else that listened to that radio station when I was listening to hip hop, the early hip hop. I was the only person.
Miles Mosley, and me and Brian Unel listened to hip hop in college. That was it. 3 guys. And then you get a couple other like stragglers who would listen to some, but like I just listen to hip hop. That's all I listen to. I would try to venture out into like Frank Black and like I'd get into some like I probably was more diverse when I was younger, but towards the end of college it was just I was like, why am I fucking lying to myself?
Music is such an interesting part of life. I think I had my uncle listened to classic country like Waylon and Merle Haggard and Willie Nelson and all those guys, Tammy Wynette, and then. But my dad was a Doobie Brothers, Leonard Skinner, that kind of vein. And my mom was really into Queen and pop music in the 70s. So I had all these different kind of exposures and I loved all of them. So I feel like as an adult, I enjoy so much music from back in those days. And I don't feel like there's that kind of variety in music today. Like I don't care for modern country music. I don't really care for it. And I don't really care for hip hop at all. But back then I did. I cared for all of it. And I wonder why. Was it because I was younger? But I don't like modern country music. It doesn't, it's too formulaic, or it doesn't seem like it's too already been done from what I've heard. There's a few country songs, obviously. Some of them you go, wow, that's a really great country song. But as a genre, I cannot listen to that genre of music.
You know, it puts you in a place. When I was a freshman in college, the Accardi brothers and this other dude Trent listened to, and they were like probably my two closer friends as we were freshmen. And they loved country music.
Yeah, but country music in those days too was good still, because then that was what Randy Travis,
Clint Black,
Alan Jackson, George
Garth
Strait,
Brooks.
Garth Brooks. Great country music.
I would
Awesome
listen to
country
some
music.
of it, and there are some country western country songs that if I listen to now, it feels like fall is coming.
Like you going back to school, right?
Yeah, like I love that feeling. I love when you can connect to like one car ride or one moment. Like Annie said to me one time, doesn't it feel like we were here? She goes, doesn't it feel like the streetlights are about to come in and we should go home? And I was like, yes. She was like, that feels like that, right? And I was like, yeah. Like I love the smell of. I wonder if this is just kids in Florida, maybe. But the smell of rain hitting a pavement.
Oh, I love that too. But that's not the same here. It's got to be. It's got to be the South. Maybe I kind of remember that in New York City too. Maybe it's just East Coast. Like on a hot day in New York in the summer. Maybe it didn't smell so good though. In Georgia
like
though,
piss and shit and homeless gum.
Georgia was that way too. It's like a hot moisture, right?
I miss those summer afternoon showers in Tallahassee so badly.
You do?
Just the smell of just fucking hot pavement and rain. I got to be honest with you. I have no regrets
about
life. I've done pretty, like all times when you're supposed to close a chapter of your life, I've closed it without any regrets. High school, I walked away from high school and I said, I'm ready for college. I did the best I could do in high school. I had two solid years of great performance in sports. I had some cool girlfriends. I partied, but I didn't overdo it. I wasn't like really into drinking or drugs at all, but I tried things. I had fucking fun. And I had a group of friends that to this day that I still have, like probably 20 friends that I was like, I will know these guys for a long time.
From high school?
Yeah, from high school. There were probably 20 of us that.
How big was your class?
Well, no. So I had a crossover of like me at Jesuit. I had those guys. And then I had the guys from Plant who were like Weicho, Obi, Bobir, Cayman, like all those guys. And so Hank, I mean, I still talk to Hank and Ben Seberg and like all these guys that I was like, I'll know these guys for a very long time. And when we went to Florida State, I was done with high school. I was like, I did high school perfectly. I actually remember saying that. I have no regrets. High school was brilliant. And when I left Florida State, I said, I'm ready to leave. I have no regrets.
Yeah.
I did Florida State perfectly. Like I went
7 years of perfection.
7 years of perfection.
So I don't know about perfect, but for you, it was perfect.
Yeah. And now I feel like, I feel like this is like a never ending tale of like where we're at now with comedy and whatnot. But like, I feel like I have no regrets from like living in New York. I really loved living in New York, but I was done with New York. When I left, I was like, yeah, I can't really live here. This isn't my town. And I fell in love with LA. I'm a little bummed right now because, we just talked about this on our meeting, but the world's set up right now so that you don't really need to live anywhere to do anything. And things might not get back to normal till 2021 in like a full fucking year.
Right.
Is what they're saying. It's like Google's just said to its employees, be prepared to work from home until the summer of 2021.
Wow.
And so you're like, okay, so if that's true, if we got one full year, where would I want to be? Very candidly, I would much rather be at the lake for a full year than in LA.
Right.
Especially if like I'm just going to do Zoom meetings.
You mean lake in Weedower?
Yeah, like I would much rather be on that lake every single day.
Well, yeah. The problem is we have 2 children who have social lives who are locked into here. So if it were just you and me, we could go anywhere.
When Joe decided to move to Texas and we kind of said to each other, Tom and I were saying like, well, what should we do? And Tom's like, I just bought a house and I feel like things are going so well with 2 Bears, 1 Cave that it's we have to be together to do that because the energy is just, we just make each other giggle so much being in person.
Yeah.
And he was like, it stinks because it would be great to move to a lake and just every morning get up and water ski or wakeboard or wake surf and take the jet skis out and paddleboard and have a big backyard where you can or maybe have horses or go rock climbing or do all these cool things that this country offers. But instead we're here and I'm looking, I've talked to just about every comedian. I've talked about to just about every comedian in LA.
Yeah.
Friend, that's an arrogant statement. My friends.
Yeah.
And all of them have talked about whether or not they should stay.
Right.
And I'm like, I don't think anything's going to open up here for another year.
Right.
Like comedy clubs, we're not going to get back to the store. It'll be at least definitely a full fucking year.
Right.
And then I'm like, yeah, man, if you want to be in the game of comedy, you actually got to get out of LA. You got to get out of New York. Like what are you doing in New York? Like New York isn't going to be opened up for like it was for a long time. It might be a ghost town.
Well, it is an interesting, if our kids were younger, it would be an interesting
how
thing.
old though? Like what, first grade?
Yeah. Like,
third grade?
Yeah, like that. Like young.
Yeah.
But now Georgia's a junior in high school. If we moved her now, that would really suck.
Oh, she's just getting into drugs, alcohol, and cutting.
I don't know about that, but it would suck. So I feel really locked in. I say this all the time, but I feel really locked in with our community here. And what we were talking about earlier in this podcast is a lack of community. I in particular really forged this community of families that we are with all the time, not just the campers. But Jeannie Turbo, who's one block over from us, I just ran into her the other day and I thought, it's so nice to just roll your window down and talk to a neighbor. We know so many neighbors here.
Yeah, I saw Jeff and Colleen when we were driving
we have
George's bike home.
All these friends, but I go, if we moved to Texas, we have nobody. So we'd have to start over again with this whole community. And I really genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, appreciate this community that we have grown. I mean, Priscilla passed away, and how many people brought us flowers, baked goods, dinner. I mean, all these people, we had like 6 or 8 people, and that's our dog. It's not even like, it's just a dog. Yeah. And that's just a testament to the people we've surrounded ourselves with. And that's really hard to find.
It's really hard to find.
It's almost impossible. People email me and say, how did you do that? How do you make friends like that? And part of it is being that friend to them. When Jeannie's when Jeannie's dog died, I brought her flowers. When Colleen and Jeff's dog died, I brought them flowers. Yeah. And they did that to me, not because I did it for them, but I think it's because we're the same sort of people.
No, but that's who you are. It should be known on your podcast that when we moved to this house, you stomped a right heel into the grass and you said, I will have a lot of friends in this neighborhood.
I did.
You said, I will be a part of this community.
I did. When we first moved to this house, we went to the World Fair that our elementary school throws this fundraiser. I've talked about it a ton on this podcast. It's a big World Fair. It's a huge community event. Takes 4 days to build and tear down. Something like 8,000 people visit this fair. It's huge. And
this was a really big event for many reasons. And I'll tell you your side, and then I want to hear your side, and then I want to tell you
I know what your side is.
You know what it is already. I didn't want to live in the Valley.
Yeah.
And I thought only nerds lived in the Valley.
Yeah.
That all the cool people were in Hollywood, and we had just sold our lives out, and we were going to live in a bullshit existence with a bunch of camera operators and grips.
Yep. And we lived close enough to school that we could walk. And we walked down. I remember you put one of the kids on your shoulders and we walked down to the fair. And it was just like, for me, it was almost like an outer body experience because I felt like I was at the Carroll County fair, like the county fair. And I felt like I was in Bowden, Georgia. I was like, oh my, everybody's talking to everybody. Everybody's friendly. There's like homemade game booths, like homemade pie toss, homemade like cake walks. And I was like, I have been transported from Los Angeles to Carroll County, Georgia. I fucking dig it.
Yeah.
And then you
pointed it out. You said, "Oh, Bert, take a look." And you pointed out Luke Perry on stage playing the guitar.
Yep.
And he was on stage with all the dads, and they were all playing the guitar, and they were giggling and laughing. And my fucking 9th grade freshman year of college reptilian brain thought, well, if the Valley's is good enough for Luke Perry, it's good enough for me. Because you understand, he was the coolest dude ever. Like, I cut my hair like him in high school. I mean, he was the coolest dude fucking ever. He was fucking, Luke Perry was the shit.
Yeah.
And
his kid was graduating out that year.
Yeah.
So we weren't
his kid
actually
was this, like,
parents.
Gorgeous, long-haired. And by the way, his kid's now a professional wrestler. Yeah. And I remember you going, someone's got an amazing body over there with a long head of hair.
Beautiful, ringlet, curly, blonde hair. Oh my God, he was a gorgeous kid.
And I was like, well, fuck, if Luke Perry is good enough for this school, it's good enough for me.
Right. We walked around the fair with the girls. The girls had so much fun, and I went, I am all in. And our elementary school had a farm. We have a pig, potbelly pig, chickens, ducks, sheep, and you know me, rabbits, guinea pigs. Yep. I was like, I am in for a penny, in for a pound. And
it's a very, you should write a pamphlet, not a book, but a pamphlet, a very digestible pamphlet on how to get involved in a community. Because so many times people do move into a city and just don't get out of their comfort zone, don't reach out to people, don't make friends. You've always decided, I need a friend or something.
Yes, because I'm by myself so much, right? And I am good being by myself, but I'm not good being by myself indefinitely. I do like to go do things with people, but I'm okay by myself. I just don't want to be, when you're gone for long stretches, I make sure that Kathy comes over and we have wine, or Sandy and I go get a massage. I mean, all this is obviously pre-COVID. But I kept myself busy with my friends, and I've kept myself busy with Girl Scouts and with volunteering at school. One of the best ways, in my opinion, to make friends is to volunteer at your kid's school. You'll have kids the same age. You're all in the same phase of life. And our school had so many opportunities to volunteer. You didn't just have to be in the PTA. You could read to kids. I volunteered in the farm. I volunteered to help with the fair because those were things I was interested in. And guess what? People who are also interested in those things volunteer there as well. So you already have a common interest. So you don't go volunteer in the computer lab if you hate computers, because then you're going to be with people who probably like computers. So you don't have anything in common. So
you're a pretty exceptional person.
You think so?
Yeah. I would just when we did the 4th of July parade, I technically all but shut down, because I was like, I just get nervous and I just don't know anybody. And I think people are thinking things about me, I shut down, and we went and did the parade. And I just thought, I remember when it got done, I was like, thank God that's over with. And you were like, I love this community. I am going to be a part of this community. This is going to be, you're like, trust me, by the time the girls are leaving, this is going to be, we are going to know everyone at this parade.
Yeah, we did.
Sure as shit.
Yep, we did the parade last year. How many people we know in that parade?
Not this year, but the year before.
Yeah.
This is when I found that child.
Yeah, last year.
I said Island
2019. We did, everybody, how can you make friends in a vacuum? You can't. You have to go to community events. That's why if there's no church, which is where you would meet people, right? You go to church, and then you know everybody in your hometown because everybody goes to church.
Yeah.
And it's the same with school. So if you find a really good school, you get involved in your school, and now you have friends. It's not super complicated. I didn't say it's easy. It's just not complicated.
Yeah.
It's not easy to put yourself out there. It's not easy to, start being friends with someone you realize is not a good match for you and kind of sort of shift away. It's complicated friendships, and it takes some time to find the right people and who you're in a groove with. And it's interesting as an adult, because the same things that happened in high school when you're in a community happens as an adult, and you have to learn not to take anything personally. I know we clicked off early, like in kindergarten. These 3 moms were always together. These 3 moms were always together. These 4 or 5 moms were always together. And those moms are always still together. And, there's some kind of, I don't know, interweaving too. So like Sandy hangs out with another group of moms that I hang out with independent from Sandy. But if they invite Sandy and don't invite me, I don't get offended.
Oh, I always get very offended.
But I think that doesn't serve you. Why?
I know.
That doesn't serve you.
I've already thought about this.
But that doesn't serve you. Why? It doesn't matter. It doesn't take anything from me that they want to hang out with Sandy and not me. It doesn't say anything about me. Because, and you know what? If they don't want to hang out with me, why would I want to hang out with them? That's the way I feel. And then when they do invite me, I'm like, awesome, sure, whatever. And just
I'm not that way.
Be flexible. Why?
I'm not very flexible.
What does that make? Why? What happens to you if you find out they're invited? Because it was just a group of moms and dads that we're friends with that invited Sandy and Tom, but didn't invite us. Were you upset by that?
Wait, I didn't know about this.
Oh.
To where?
To someone's house.
Who?
We just talked about it the other night over at Sandy's house.
No, we didn't.
Yes, we did. We
Whose
talked
house
about it.
did they go
I'm
to?
not saying it on the microphone.
Just give me, say it and then edit it out. Who was it so I can just... They invited them and not us?
They invited... here's 2 more to edit out. And Sandy and Tom all hung out, but they didn't invite us.
Fucking ridiculous.
I really think they didn't invite us because you are just too much for an evening. Just kidding.
No, you're not kidding. No, you're not kidding.
I'm totally
You're not
kidding. I'm totally kidding.
I can be too much.
No, I'm totally kidding. I think I know, I have ideas why I think they invited them by themselves. But anyway, I don't really care. I genuinely
I'm
go,
glad you
that's
still
awesome.
tell me when people don't invite us because I don't need to know about that. That really bothers me.
Well, we have another set of friends 1 block over that have an entirely huge group of like 9 families that get together. And we don't always get together with them. You can't be offended by that. If you get offended by that, then it's much harder to make friends. You have to be more fluid. Don't take things personally. The things that matter are the people who live in your 4 walls. Everybody after that's entertainment.
Yeah, well,
and entertainment's really important. But the people who live in your 4 walls are the most important.
I've
Are you upset now?
No, I'm not upset about that, but I definitely, there's been times where Tom and Christina will have people over to their house and then Tom will tell me and I'll go, how come you didn't call me? And he's like, well, I just was going to have them over. And I was like, yeah. I get like that. I've always gotten like that my whole life though.
But you have FOMO, yeah.
I have FOMO.
You have extreme FOMO. I don't really have FOMO.
And I think Tom and Christina are better one-on-one with people than they are to have a party. I think parties overwhelm Christina. I think she likes to have one-on-one with people and talk to people.
Right.
And listen.
Yeah. She's a talker. I mean like a connecting talker
I'm not
person.
that person. I just want to hold court.
Yes.
I need a few people there. And I want to make everyone laugh. I want to be the center of attention. And I'm broken.
You know that they say, know thyself, know thyself.
Know thyself.
That is true. You do want to hold court. And everybody pay attention. And mostly 99% of the time agree with you.
Someone told me they did an example of, I think maybe it was Nadav or someone was doing an example of me walking into a room. And they're like, you always walk into the room with a story. You never just walk in a room like, hey, how's everyone doing? You're like, let me tell you what just happened. Yeah,
you are that way. You are that way. That's kind of your family culture, though. I find that your sister, Cotty, is that way a little bit, too. Nothing wrong with that. It's just a different way of, kind of entering a room.
It's interesting. I definitely, it was the tour bus. They were saying you never just get on the tour bus. You get on the tour bus with okay, you're never going to believe what just happened.
Is he just shit in my shoe? Right, like that, right?
Yeah, that's me.
Yeah, but that's okay. I mean, what's wrong with that?
I like having tons of people over.
Yeah, you do like having. But you know what's so funny is you used to not be like that. Remember when you used to not want to hang out with our friends from the neighborhood? It made you really uncomfortable.
No, I don't remember that.
Long time ago when we first moved here. I don't know these people. They're not my friends.
Oh, because, but that, you know what? You're right. And that shifted because I was all about being around comedians. I didn't want to be around lay people because I just found them boring and you couldn't open up. You couldn't be honest.
Yes.
You couldn't say aggressive things. You said aggressive things and everyone got turned off.
Yep.
And I definitely loosened up.
Well, yes,
And I used to work.
kept
And by the way, I
saying-
used to work every fucking night then too.
You did,
Like
and I
was
kept saying,
obsessed with work.
do you remember I kept saying to you, I think you need regular people as friends. I think you need people who are not comedians.
You mean
also,
people that don't drug your dad at an Easter party?
yeah, right. Exactly. Or give you drugs in the man cave. No, I've never had a problem with you at all, ever being friends with comedians. But they definitely roll in a certain lane.
Yeah, I remember bringing up some sort of style of porn at a dinner party, and you're like, just so you know, not everyone, your friend groups,
Right.
you guys operate on a different frequency.
Yes, exactly. Not everybody works at that frequency. And sometimes you have to downshift and know your audience a little bit. Like you wouldn't talk about that at Nana Hen's house. And sometimes you wouldn't talk about that at certain parents of your children's friends' houses either. You have to kind of know your audience.
I used to get bothered with parents that couldn't just catch up to speed with where my brain was. When it came to like porn, or not porn per se, but just life, drugs, alcohol, porn, like anything that I felt that comics would like to talk about. When parents would be like, TMI, I'd be like, TMI? Too much information? Are you out of your fucking mind? It's not enough info. TMI starts when I start gagging. When I'm like, okay, stop the story. I'm going to throw up. That's TMI for me.
Yeah, but for you.
Yeah.
And you, as we
Do you
all
remember
know,
we went to
is
Jeff and
not-
Colleen's and I took a shit in their bathroom and then broke their bathroom?
Yes.
And they were like, and like people were genuinely really upset. Like, why would you do that? And I was like, you shit in toilets. Like I remember being so blown away that
You didn't break it.
he had to have a plumber come out and fix it.
Oh.
Because I'd just gotten back from Vietnam and I went over there and I was rolling in hot and I just was like, my stomach's fucked.
Yeah.
And I took an aggressive shit in that bathroom.
Oh, God. And Jeff is such a tidy fella.
He is so tidy.
He is so tidy. Maybe that's why we've never been invited back.
I definitely ruined his bathroom.
Oh, thanks a lot, Bert. I love Colleen and Jeff. They love me too. You got me ejected from
I
the
can get us
Bernards.
invited again.
I'm just kidding. They would invite us anytime. This is all just a joke. Completely.
So
a
here's
joke.
my question: when the girls go to college,
Mm-hmm.
are we going to spend all our time together, or we just like live our own lives and then also have a house that we share?
What do you mean? Are you asking if I'm going on the road with you?
No, like,
Probably not, because we will still have.
so you're just going to stay at home by yourself?
I have 3 dogs, a cat, and 2 chickens. I'm not going to just pay somebody to take care of all that shit.
So-
I have a podcast too.
So if I just want to go to Hawaii for a month, I can just do it and then come back and like.
Well, no, I could
we'll just
go
be
to
like
Hawaii with
roommates.
you for a
No,
month.
we'll just be like roommates who have sex when I'm in town. You'll be like my slam piece.
What is the difference between that and now? That's exactly what's going on now.
I wish I didn't love you.
Like you come up and go, tick tock, big girl, when those britches coming off. Come on, that's what you do. I got 2
Talk bigger
minutes.
when them britches coming off.
That's what you do. Tick tock,
Please
baby.
make that a shirt. Please make that a shirt. TikTok, big girl, when them britches coming off.
That's the way you are. As soon as you
TikTok,
walk in
big
the door.
girl, when them britches coming off. Fuck.
I'm so
yeah.
panther right now.
You are so. Please make that a shot. TikTok, big girl, when them britches coming off.
That's what you do now. So I can't imagine it will be less that when there are no children at home.
If we're gonna have sex twice before I leave, we got to put in some work.
See what I mean?
I'm gonna be
TikTok.
down for a little while. Like we definitely need to.
Yeah,
We'll do it
I
every night.
know.
We'll do it every
I
night. Good
know.
call.
It's on my
Good
to-do list.
Yeah.
It's on my list. No, I don't know. I've actually been thinking about life
Sorry.
when kids are in college a lot, and it makes me very sad. And the other hand is, I feel like we are so social now. I can't imagine it would decrease, because what keeps us from being social now is like kids have school, kids going over here, kids got a softball game.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like we'll be doing more of that. No,
What if we got you a young sister wife? Okay.
what? No.
Like you got a young girl, maybe like 33.
Uh-huh.
Isn't that crazy that I think 33 is young?
Why? Because now you want her to have a baby and have me raise it?
No. You'll be like the grandma.
No.
Like I'll have her raise it. I'll be like, but you'll like pick up the slack where I leave off.
Uh-huh. I'd like to see how you managed that, because I guarantee you could not find another female that would put up with you.
I'm almost certain about that.
Yeah, I am absolutely certain about
They
that.
don't make them like you anymore, Leanne.
They don't. And sometimes it makes me feel like I'm really broken that I put up with you like I do.
Like today, was it where you were like, no one thinks of me first?
No one does. It's true.
Yeah. No one thinks of me first.
Bullshit.
I definitely think of me first.
You demand that we all think of you first.
That's not true.
100% true. Do you remember Jair?
Did you just say 100% true?
Do you remember Jair, who said you are 98% self-focused and I am 98% other-focused?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are we doing for
that
dinner?
we would be happier if I were less other-focused and you were less self-focused. I think I started trying to work on being less other-focused, but I don't know if my partner really worked on the being less self-focused.
I didn't hear what you said. I was looking at my gut in the camera.
Case in point.
But I'm sure you have a valid point, and I think you should bring that up with a therapist or someone who's listening.
No, you know what? Today I was feeling like you were not privy to this conversation, and there's no reason why you should have known this. But Georgia called this morning and said, what's going on today? She called me this morning. When are you taking Isla to high school to get her laptop for school? What's going on today? And I told her, and I said, I would really love it if you'd come home at noon. I really need your help cleaning the house. We have Dr. Drew coming over tomorrow. The house is a disaster. I would love your help. And she was like, yeah, I'm so tired. I want to be home at noon. So I had set my day thinking, oh, great. She's going to come home. She'll have a little downtime and help me. And then I got some major tood from Isla about helping me also because, when I ask for help, I don't ask for help that much, but when I do, it would be nice if someone would go, yeah, no problem. Mm-hmm. But I don't ever get, yeah, no problem. I always get, yeah. I'll get to that after I've watched TikTok for 45 minutes. And, so I said to Isla, no, you have 2 hours of school reading. When that's done, I need a little help. So I don't need much, but this is what I need. And I would appreciate it. And I get pushback from her. And then Georgia stays till 2, and then 2:30, and then 3 o'clock. And I'm like, I was pretty clear in saying I really needed your help. Mm-hmm. And, you've been gone for like 2 days. So she's blowing me off. Isla's blowing me off. And I just feel like, man, I pretty much say this is what I need. And everybody goes, yeah, later. Yeah, later. I'll give you that later. So I always feel like I'm always the last. I'm always later. And that was bothering me today. I'll get what I need later.
Yeah, but were you aware that I came into the man cave to clean the man cave so you could do your podcast?
Yes, I was very aware of that. Okay. Yes, I was aware of that. But yeah, so that's what was bothering me today, is that I feel like I'm always the last one. You can have yours, but I'm going to get mine first. But I don't ever go, hey, I'm going to get mine first. So mine first would be, fuck your summer reading and help me clean. No, I'm good with you getting yours first. But at a certain point, I'd like to get mine first. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to have to be an asshole to get it. But I feel like I have to be like, hey, I said I needed blah, blah, blah before anybody really takes me seriously. And perhaps that's the way I've set it up. Perhaps it's my fault that I've set it up that way or allowed it to be that way for so long. But for whatever reason today, it really bothered me. So that's what was bothering me. Is that
makes sense?
It's not like I didn't say what I needed. I did, and I got pushback from everybody. And I think I'm feeling a little bit like when we get this new puppy. It's, when a puppy comes in the house, everybody pitches in.
We're getting a new puppy, everybody.
Everybody pitches in, but not really. It's pretty much all mom.
They've been, actually, I'm going to negate that a titch. They've been really good with feeding the dogs and the cats.
Yes.
For this summer, this COVID.
No, that part's really good. But a puppy's a different deal. A puppy's up every night, going out to pee, and I don't want the girls to get up at night because they'll be in school. But there's a lot to do with a puppy. A puppy's a different thing than what's happening now.
Yeah.
They're awesome with feeding the dogs, and they'll still do that when we have a puppy. But I would teach you how to walk on a leash. We have to, So I don't know. That's just what I was feeling like today. I was feeling like it's not as simple as ask for what you need sometimes.
It's not.
Sometimes I ask for what I need and they go, yeah, stand in line. I'm going to do this, and then I'm going to take a little break for myself. That's what Isla said. One of the things she said to me was, I've been reading for 2 hours. I'm going to take like 20 minutes, and then and for this morning, I woke her up at 9:30 and said, hey, we got to go at 10. You have 30 minutes. And then she went back. I said, I'm going to shower, so I can't be like all over you to get up. So you need to get up.
So okay.
So
I was wondering where it started. I was wondering where it started.
Go in the shower. She was up when I got out of the shower. She was getting ready. No problem. We left 10 minutes late, but we were still on time. No problem. I was really no problem. And then in the middle of it, she was like, oh, got myself up today at 9:45. And I went, no, you didn't. I got you up at 9:30. Do you not remember me getting you up at 9:30? She's like, yeah, but I got myself up at 9:45. And I'm like, I get no credit for anything. I got you up at 9:30 and you were not nice.
No.
So maybe that is where it started today. I don't know. I didn't feel that.
It wasn't then because you were cool when you came home.
I was totally cool. It was when
I took a nap is when when I woke up. You were shifted. Something happened then.
It's because Georgia was, and I feel a little bit like we give Georgia an inch and she takes a mile. Mm-hmm. And I'm tired of that. And when I say, this is what we agreed on, I get such massive teenage attitude and I don't deserve it. You know, she has to sleep over one night. We let her sleep over 2. I said, I'd love to have you home by noon. Please come home by noon. She gets home at 3:00.
There are people listening to this going, yeah. That's all our fucking kids.
Yeah, I completely get it. I know that it's totally normal, but it still affects me.
Yeah, it should.
And I'm not even saying Georgia should be any different. She's being a teenager.
Yeah.
But it still affects me. And usually I blow it off, but today it really bothered me.
No, and I said to Isla, we're going to do some stuff tonight. She was like, hold on, what are we doing? I was like, you actually don't get a say in it at all. I don't know what fucking world you live in where you're going to go, objection.
Right?
I think I'd like to gerrymander this, or I don't even know what.
That's what she did with me today, where she was like, what do you need from me? And I went, I've told you this like 3 times, but let me tell you one more time.
Oh, I went into her bedroom the other day and she goes, hey, you're not allowed to get in my bed. And I went, oh, I paid for everything in this room. I will fucking put my dick on your refrigerator if I want to. I didn't say that, but I got in her bed and she goes, now it's going to smell like you. And I said, yeah. And if I die tomorrow, you're going to go, God, thank God Dad got in my bed and it smelled like him. She's like, no, I still won't say that. You smell bad. You smell like sweat, and I don't like it.
So, from feeling that way, I'm going to say something. I hope I don't get emotional because I got a little emotional today in the kitchen. You know, I didn't think it was bothering me that my 50th birthday was going to have to be kind of blown off this year. But today, actually yesterday, when we took that cake out of the freezer, it started really bothering me. I got really sad. I got really bummed out. I was like, what a freaking bummer. That's a bummer. I'm really bummed. I bought myself my favorite cake for my birthday. That's a frozen cake that you thaw out before COVID. Because I clearly was in some way excited about my 50th birthday. And we were going to go to the lake house with all our family. And then, you know, I was like, well, if we don't do that, we'll just have a big party with like a DJ. And because I love to dance and just have a blast and you weren't going to work. And now I'm going like, no one's going to remember my kids. My kids aren't going to get me a present. I bought my own cake. We can't get together because of COVID. What a fucking bummer. And so in my feeling of I'm last on the list, for some reason, my birthday came up today in my own psyche. For no reason, I just went, what a fucking bummer. I'm really bummed now. You're not going to be here. And by the way, I completely signed off on you not being here. I'm totally fine with it, really. But that part of me went, God, that's a fucking bummer. So that happened today. First time I felt that way. Well, I felt that way yesterday when I pulled the cake out of the freezer. And then today I was like, oh, man. I don't usually care about my birthday much, but I think I had thought to myself for a long time on my 50th, we're going to do something really awesome. And even though you've been asking me, do you want to go to Paris or whatever, really awesome would have been all of us going to the lake. Mm-hmm. And then tear down from really awesome would be a DJ dance party, which is, to me, that's really awesome. I don't really need to go to Paris. And we can't do any of it.
You can't do
and that's nobody's fault. Party. No, I know. And
I mean, like I wish I could be Like, you know what? Let's surprise you with the dance part. You just
No,
you
no,
actually can't
no,
do
no,
that.
no. 100% understand. I understand that in COVID, nothing is possible that would be awesome like that, right? I get it. It's nobody's fault.
Yeah.
It's just the reality. So for whatever reason, my little pity party of feeling like I was last on everybody's list also applied to my 50th birthday, which is August 20th, which is coming up, and realizing, what a bummer. I'm last on the list again. But that's life imposed. That's not kid imposed. So anyway.
Well,
Are you setting a reminder for my
No, I'm
birthday?
trying to
Is
think.
it not in your calendar? For years, you thought it was the 18th or something.
no, it's the 20th. I know it's the 20th.
Yeah. So anyway, I think that was part of why I was feeling so very low. You know, it's silly in the
No,
grand.
it's not silly.
It is actually silly,
No, it's silly.
in the
It's not
grand
silly.
scheme of the world. I've been struggling with this a lot too. Here, let me tell you this. You've been talking about getting me a car for my birthday, and I have such guilt about the thought of that because I think that money should be put somewhere else. I cannot wear, I talked about this on Christina P's podcast. I cannot bring myself to wear that Louis Vuitton bag that I won in a raffle because I feel so guilty that I have something that is that extravagant and opulent in this day and age when people aren't working, unemployment is so high. I feel really guilty. So
I just said this to Dad the other day. I feel I think there's been a shift in, and I could be really wrong, and I talked to Burr about this. I said I think there's been a shift in the way that everyone before COVID was like Instagram, private jets, fucking helicopter rides, baller, new car, vacation, and whatchamacallit. Look at this champagne.
yeah.
That I think now I think during COVID you see that, and I think it's a little obnoxious.
I think it's very obnoxious
And Bill's
and
perspective
arrogant
is,
and
I said I have a hard time because we need a new car.
yeah.
That's just so everyone's clear. Our lease is up, and so
Yeah.
we need a new car. And
Yeah.
it happens to be Leanne's birthday. I was like, well, let's get Leanne the car she wants for her birthday, and then that'll be her car. And I talked to Bill about it, and I said I feel weird when they open the store up to show up in a nice car to the kids that are working there that have not had any work whatsoever.
Yeah.
And Burr's like, no, man. When you were a kid and you saw dudes pull up in like a Porsche at the store, did you just feel like, God, that guy's flaunting it? I said, no, I was inspired by them. I was like, one day I want a Porsche.
Right.
He was like, yeah, that's what we do for the kids that are the guys that are openers and open micers, is they see that and they go, that's possible. So-
Yeah. I guess that's a good perspective to have, but I don't have that perspective at the moment, and that's what makes it hard. So, in talking about my birthday, in the grand scheme of things, people are dying of COVID, people are out of work. In the grand scheme of things, my 2-3 hours today of feeling sorry for myself is really kind of stupid. And I feel even bad about that because we are so blessed and lucky, and we have so much to be grateful for. And those couple hours of self-indulgence goes away, right? It's just a couple hours of self-indulgence, which I think we all can have from time to time.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. In talking about all of that, I still do feel really, really bad because so many people are.
Yeah. Well, you should. That's natural. You should. And you should be empathetic towards the person that's tweeting nasty shit to you and saying nasty shit in your comments on Instagram.
Yes,
and you should realize you should. And that's why when that famous person tweeted that thing about, or just liked and retweeted that thing about me or whatever, I just went, I feel, I got you. I understand that this isn't you right now.
Right.
That you maybe were very famous at one point and you have money coming in and you didn't foresee that money not coming in, and now you might be losing stuff.
Right.
I talked about this with Halston. Is I've never been more empathetic for my community and comedy than I am now for just everyone, every single person. It does not see you can be rich as fuck, but when you're rich as fuck, sometimes you live beyond your means. And then all of a sudden it shows up and no money's coming in and you're like, what the fuck do I do? You could be middle of the road wealthy where you've done a couple sitcoms and you got some money saved up, but all of a sudden you didn't have a nest egg to keep you for a year not working.
Yeah.
And so when I see the negativity in my own community, back and forth towards each other, I'm just empathetic towards it going, I get it. When that guy, and it bummed me out when that guy did that this morning. And by the way, he didn't even do it this morning. He did it like 4 days ago or something.
And you just found it this morning.
And I just found it. And I was like, I got excited because I thought they were retweeting something positive about me.
Right.
And they weren't. And I just was like, oh.
Well, isn't that kind of the base of good mental health is you don't take anything personally.
Well, yeah, I didn't take it personally.
And you try to see it from the other person's perspective. And you may see it from the other person's perspective and not agree with it. But just trying to see it from the other person's perspective gives you compassion to say, at least I've tried to understand them. And if you really go, okay, I think they're doing this because of XYZ, I just wouldn't do that myself. You still have you can have compassion, but if you take something personally and then you don't make an effort to try and see the other side, it's the person who suffers is you, right? It's like that saying when Nelson Mandela says resentment is like drinking poison and waiting for the other person to die. They don't die. You're the one that suffers because you drank the poison. That's what resentment is. I think that's what anger and retaliation is in a lot of ways for people who do that, is drinking poison and thinking you're hurting the other person. You're not doing anything to them. You're doing it to yourself. And it's I don't know. I think it's the only way to live is to try and see the other side of the story and to not take anything personally. It's part of the 4 agreements. Don't take anything personally. If you don't take anything personally, it's amazing how much emotion automatically is removed from the situation. And when you have emotion removed, you can really get to what's the issue and what's happening. And I don't mean that everything's emotionless, but a reactive emotion sometimes may not be accurate.
Yeah.
It may be real, but not accurate. So you need to deal with your accurate emotion. You have the reactive, remove it and go, okay, what's really going on here? What's really going on here is this guy's probably hurting. This guy's probably struggling and he's lashing out and I'm just convenient.
Or it makes him feel better.
Or it makes him feel better. So then you've removed the reactive emotion and gone into what's going on for him and I'm not taking this personally. That's what you did. And I think that in the end makes you a healthier person and makes you healthy for yourself. Because if not, you could have gone, well, fuck that guy, and then replied, and then now you got this big shit show. No. But you could have made that choice.
Yeah,
as a person could have made that choice, any person. And then it perpetuates that bad negativity, and now you're functioning from the reactive emotion, and that's not healthy because that may not be actual. It may just be reactive. It may not be really what's going on. Learning to be mature in your mental health and your emotions is, to me, has been one of the hardest and the most rewarding things I've ever done. I know all our friends say I'm a super patient person. I know you probably don't think I'm a patient person, but from the outside, I think I am quite patient in a lot of ways. Patience comes from, I think, trying to understand what's going on in a bigger, broader way than just how I'm feeling in the moment and needing that feeling to go away. You know, growing up, living with my mom, having to wait from age 7 to age 13 to move to my dad's house taught me how to have patience and how to have an emotion that I don't get to have. Mm-hmm. And you have to sit it aside and be patient so that you can have it or know that it doesn't serve you. And I think as an adult, having to cope through that gave me a lot of skills as adults that I think a lot of adults don't have. And some of it's really helpful to be able to say, let me just push pause here and see what else is going on maybe. I'm not perfect, obviously. I don't always function like that, but I try to.
You're pretty perfect.
No, I'm not perfect.
I mean, it's actually, you've got some places to improve, but
You let me know every time we argue how not perfect I am. So I know I'm not perfect. And I don't expect to be. You aren't either. Nobody is.
nobody is.
No. It's that we accept and love ourselves with all our imperfections.
How long have we been doing a podcast?
Long time.
Almost 2 hours? An hour 40? Well, minus the shit. Well, we should probably go. I want to tie those trees up.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, we're losing daylight.
Yeah, we're losing daylight. We're burning daylight.
We're losing daylight. That's what they say. Losing daylight. Well, I have to say, I'm going to miss you when you're gone.
Sounds like I'm dying.
No, I mean when you're on tour and then you're shooting a TV show. I've said that, I don't know if I've actually really talked about this. I haven't talked about it with you, but this is the longest we've been together in our entire relationship, I think. Well, no, not in the beginning. In the beginning, you weren't working on the road much, and we were together a lot when we were dating.
Is the longest.
But this is the longest since we've been married that we've been together. I think it's been pretty easy.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I think it has.
I mean, we haven't really argued much.
No, not at all. I mean, not more than normal.
No, not really at all. And you would think for people who don't spend, we spend a majority of our time apart.
Yeah.
And to then be put together all the time, I think that's pretty remarkable.
I think it is.
And
I'm really...
we should give each other and ourselves credit for that.
we should celebrate.
We should absolutely celebrate.
Let's open a bottle of champagne over at the new house. Tie up some trees.
But, I'm really proud of you for being who you are in this quarantine. You've been way better at knowing how we should behave than I have been. I find myself, the older I get, that I might be naive in a lot of ways that I didn't really realize before.
Meaning?
Like when this, perfect example, right when COVID just started, when it was still in China, before it was even here, you called me and said, you need to stock up on supplies because this is coming here and it's going to be bad. So stock up. And I've been doing this lately. I think I had to live by my own kind of means for so long that I had to just trust myself because the other adults around me were not that trustworthy.
Yeah.
So it took me many years to trust you in a way that just kind of is natural, I think, to other people because I just didn't have any trustworthy adults. Mm-hmm. So when you said that, I noticed myself saying, I'm just going to trust him here. I'm just going to do that. I'm not even going to think about it. I'm just going to stock shit up. And then when you said this is how we're going to function in COVID, I thought to myself, I'm just going to trust him. I'm going to do exactly what he says.
Meaning
we don't leave the house.
Yeah.
We are completely secluded. Here's the hand sanitizer. Here's the mask. You will behave like this. Where I find you a lot of times very controlling. In this arena, I was very happy to have it because I thought this is what actually needs to happen right now. Mm-hmm. And you thought about things I didn't think about.
I think that's OCD.
It is OCD, but typically I blow it off and I go, that's fucking OCD. But in this moment I went, this is actually very helpful. So, and you've handled yourself with a lot of poise and with the kids and stuff. You haven't been like, sometimes your OCD gets away from you and you get very kind of aggro about stuff. And it's because you're in a OCD moment and you haven't really done that much. Not much at all. Mm-hmm. It has happened, but not really that much. Mm-hmm. So, and I'm very proud of you for that because I'm sure that takes a lot of self-management for you to just go like, okay, to trust that I'm going to the grocery store and wearing my mask and hand sanitizing and not touching people and 6 feet apart. Takes a lot of self-control on your part.
Well, thank you for saying that. I've been a little not fair, I think.
What do you mean?
Like just with Georgia, and by the way, I think we both know privately that I was right in certain respects.
Yes.
But and I don't think it's good for Isla. I think it just sucks. It just sucks.
Well, COVID sucks.
I'm a weird rule follower, and that's why when we do these tours, I have certain strict rules. And if I feel like you're not going to abide by the rules, I can't bring you on tour with me.
Yeah.
And we had to do that this time.
Yeah.
And it stinks because it was one of my really good friends, and I just have weird rules. And it's like and I think those weird rules are what kept us safe on that last tour.
Yeah,
And,
absolutely.
I mean, we drove across the country at the height of the outbreak in all the hot spots, Arizona, Texas, performed in probably 12 different states, and everyone came back COVID free. But that's not because we weren't, that's not a fluke.
You weren't laissez-faire about it.
That wasn't a fluke. That was
No.
me saying,
that was you locking it down and going, here's how we will function.
Eric Garcetti says he's shutting off water and power services to houses that hold large gatherings. And that is your 50th birthday.
Wow. Oh, no. I know there's no illusion that I'm having a 50th birthday.
I have an idea.
Oh, yeah?
I have an idea.
What is it?
I can't really share it with you. I'll tell it to you off air.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it really stinks because I don't think this is good for people to be staying in their house like this. But I know that these are the rules. I'm a weird rule follower.
Yeah.
And like I was really strict when we were on tour. Is that masks everywhere, sanitizer anywhere. You step on the bus, you sanitize.
Yeah.
You step off the bus, you sanitize.
Right.
You wear a mask off the bus. You do not have any interactions with anyone. No one's going into any stores.
Right.
We're not going anywhere.
Right.
If we do an activity, we will be socially distanced by at least 20 feet, and we will get into activities only where we cannot be around anybody.
Right.
Meaning in a boat, in a river.
Right.
So yeah,
and it worked, and it proved
worked.
it can be done, right? It proved you can live this life and
That's
still do things.
What happened is when I have friends that got COVID from touring, I think a lot of comics wanted to see me get it also.
Right.
And wanted to go, see, I told you that's why I'm not working, is because you can't do this. It's not safe. And a lot of people canceled all their dates.
Right.
But I thought, no, you can be safe. You can definitely do this and be safe. It does not optimize you in making the most amount of money because you have to follow certain protocols.
Right.
But you can do this and be safe. And we did it. And we're doing it again. And I will be doing a television show. And once again, doing it and be safe. I'm taking COVID tests every other day.
Right.
So that if anything comes up, I'm in front of it and I can take care of other people. And by the way, it may not, hey, listen, it's also a virus that you can't fucking control. There's things are out of your control with certain people might get up in your face and breathe on you and spit on you or give you a hug. I fucking love you, bro. All you can do is try to be the safest you can be and be safe and make sure your family is fucking mentally sane because trust me, there's a part of me that goes, I just wish I wasn't doing any work at all. But that's not how this world works. It's like you got to fucking work. You got to work. You can't just go. And even if it's a risk, a health risk of like, there is a manageable risk involved. You go, I've got to take that. And by the way, there's people building houses right now that are like, I got to take that. I can't lose this shit.
Totally.
I've worked too hard to get my family to here, and I'm not asking to go here. I'm just saying I don't want to lose us here.
Yeah, I hear you. Well,
I think what, COVID has made me so fucking empathetic.
Yeah, that's good.
And
but you know what? You've done a great job. Really.
Thank you. I should have just accepted your compliment. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Let's wrap this up and I'll tell you my idea.
Do you want to say anything to me about my great job?
Thank you for telling me I did a great job.
You asshole. That's what I mean.
Hey,
I have to wait for mine.
No, hold on.
I have to wait for mine.
I will tell you across the board, all the compliment you paid to me is moot if it wasn't for you getting all the groceries, getting all the cars filled with, like you have put yourself on the front line.
Yes, I have been the frontline frontier.
Because I can't do it. I can't do it.
And we've no cleaning lady. I'm the cleaning lady with our kids. No piano teacher. No art teacher. No tutor. I'm the tutor.
I could not.
I'm not teaching art or piano.
Careful as I have been, I could not have been that careful if it wasn't for you.
Aw.
Because you've done all the work. You've done all the work, 100%.
Which is kind of where I'm comfortable. You know, we went on this RV trip with Tom and Sandy, me and you, and there's 2 worker bees in that group.
Me and Sandy.
No. And I thought to myself, isn't it interesting? Because you and Sandy definitely worked. You definitely did. It's not like you sat back and sipped drinks and did nothing.
We did a lot of that too.
But you did. But there's 2 people who really freaking got the shit done. And then it's me and Tom. Yeah. And I wonder if that's just how it works in a relationship.
Yeah, I think so.
Is there's one person who just does the grunt work and the bullshit.
Do you think Christina Pajinski has left the house once?
No.
No.
Well, she does do her podcast.
Tom is the guy that goes on, puts on a mask, and does stuff, or at least figures out how to get done. But that's who he is.
Yeah.
He's going into fucking surgery tomorrow.
I know. That's crazy.
Would you opt for a fucking surgery in the middle of COVID?
Probably not. No.
As obese as he is.
Well, anyway, thanks for doing my podcast with me today.
Thank you. I can't wait to tell you my brilliant idea.
I can't wait to hear it. I can't wait. Well, I love you.
Baby, I love you more than is humanly possible, or even I think
Healthy.
yeah, I think that if they talked about how much I loved you in a court of law, they'd be like, he loves her too much. You got to separate them.
What did I say? TikTok, big girl, get them britches off.
Is that what we find that what? When
them britches coming off.
TikTok, big girl, when them britches coming off. That's a t-shirt. That's a fucking t-shirt that I will wear.
It's too long.
It's TikTok, big girl, when them britches yeah, it's got to be written.
Too long.
No, it's not.
All right.
I love you.
Love you too, baby.